as elected persons, we as senators shall not, directly or indirectly, secretly or openly, aid and abet unemployed or semi-employed people and arm them to disrupt election. If we reform our character, this problem is 90% solved. In Edo State, sir, I launched one man, one vote, one woman, one vote. At the end of the day, and as of today, it is now possible to do election without cutting dead bodies. It wasn't so before, because we convinced everybody that there is no merit in taking election or conducting election as if it is a state of war. The beauty of democracy is not the fact that you find yourself occupying an important elective office. It is the feeling in your heart that people actually, in their free will, found you worthy to be their voice and to entrust our collective patrimony in your hands to manage, to deliver the greatest good to the greatest number. That for me is the beauty. If you achieve it by the aim of, by through rigging or other manipulation, deep in your heart, you know that you are not a happy person. After every election, violent crimes increase because the politicians who have procured weapons for children who are hungry and pay them a little fee, once the election is over, they are not able to retrieve the weapons. And the weapons are then deployed by these people for violence. You can see a strong correlation between the level of criminality, robbery, etc., immediately after the election. Because these people have been abandoned since the results have been given.
I know you are very much moved, and some of you, though, a lot of you already know Adams Oshiomhole, the greatest hypocrite of all the times. As it were in Nigerian politics, if you are looking for somebody to award the title of the #1 hypocrite of the Nigerian political scene, give it to Adams Oshiomhole. Perfect. He knows what to do. Before and after every election, he is very ruthless, very vicious, very vindictive, very sentimental, a tribal bigot, a politician that doesn't have any form of objectivity. But after every elections, maybe a year after, he becomes that, he starts to exercise his oratory prowess, his flair for grandiloquence, massive, good talker, smooth talker. You will begin to count him as though he's somebody. He wants to be in the books of the smartest brains, and also in the books of the most vicious politicians. Oshiomhole is a demon, if there's anything to say. So don't be moved. Of course, you can take the lesson that it is because our systems, our laws, our institutions are not working. So it is not something of conscience. And I've said it everywhere. I've been opportunity to travel a few times, and I can do it to a few places, and I can tell you, there are the same set of people you see in Nigeria. It is everywhere in the world. There are bad business people anywhere in the world. There are terrible politicians everywhere in the world. But it is systems. It is systems created that couples all of us, that pushes you to a corner, that protects the people. Go and read the 7 Deadly Sins by Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is not an African. He shared everything. All of the things, commerce without morality, or wealth without conscience, all of these things. Everything he has said happens everywhere. But it's systems, institutions, organs, laws that couples you, that keeps you at bay, that ensure that you have boundaries. You can, if you start to send politicians and electoral officers to jail, Oshiomhole will not be begging his colleagues to use his conscience. So what if there is no conscience? Because they recognize. So instead of Adams Oshiomhole to move a motion to criminalize electoral ringing, to criminalize participation in electoral ringing, to make it almost inevitable, to see that elections in this country are free and fair, that whoever is involved, both the politician, in 2019, Godswill Akpabio won an election into the Nigerian Senate. He later became the minority whip. However, the election was seen to have been rigged, a lot of malpractice. The electoral officer that conducted that election was taken to court, and then the court gave, I think, a bit of punishment. But Godswill Akpabio was being rewarded with being minority whip. You get it? It is that same travel that has given him to becoming Senate president, because of course Adams Oshiomhole and a couple of others wanted to be, but because he's been there, Oshiomhole wants to become Senate president from 2027. God forbid Bola Ahmed Tinubu returns as president, and the Senate presidential seat is zoned. Of course, as I talked to you now, there's an internal wrangling in the APC between the Oshiomole's camp and the Babio's camp. So much, if you go and check the Natasha issue, every time Oshiomhole seems to show to the Nigerian Senate that he is more capable to leading the Senate. So conversations like this are all on that trajectory, so don't be moved. But what are we saying? We should not allow these politicians decide the narrative. They rig elections and come and tell you, use conscience. Of course, the second thing is this, that Oshiomhole is telling us why there's so much criminality in Edo State. Because as it were now, Kogi and Edo State, and these are states that had off-cycle election, off the calendar elections, and now we are seeing a lot of criminality in these two states. Inevitably, it means Oshiomhole is saying that the reason why there are too many armed militias in Edo and Kogi State at the moment is because elections that went, they used guns, mobilized guns for people, and now those guns are in their hands. Nigerians, whenever we are ready to save ourselves, we know what to do. All of this talk here, will not save us. It is an action. Action. By the time 100 politicians go down in one day, and I'm not joking. I'm not even saying this to mince words. This is not social media. A lot of things could be interpreted, but I don't care anymore. We have a duty to saving our nation. This set of politicians, they will never.